Recently, I decided to do a little experiment. I wanted to see if I could survive a marathon of the scariest movies and games from across Asia. I'm talking about J-horror, Thai horror, Indo-horror, yeah, all of those horrors from Asia. But around the 8th movie, I started to notice something. A glitch in the matrix, a pattern so consistent it defies the laws of probability. Every single time, the ghost was a girl. Seriously, look at the data. The Ring, girl. Ju-on, girl. Manananggal, girl. A Tale of Two Sisters, two girls. It got me thinking, where are the ghost dudes? Where is the vengeful spirit of the virgin man Brian? It's like the afterlife in the East is sexist because only females are left to haunt the living. Is it just a coincidence? Or is this a budget thing? Or is there something deeper, darker reason why Asian culture has decided that the scariest thing imaginable is a woman who has been wronged? Today, we are going to find out why the afterlife has a gender gap and why that gap is terrifying news for the living. So grab your torchlight and don't look behind because we are diving deep into the well. The first thing we have to acknowledge is that this trope, the vengeful ghost woman, has existed from decades before. In Japan, this archetype is known as the onryo, and if we look at the history of the onryo, we find the first key to our theory, the thermodynamics of rage. In physics, energy cannot be destroyed or created, only transferred. In the cultural physics of feudal Asia, social power worked the same way. In historical Japan, Korea, and China, society was structured around Confucius' ideals, which means there is a strict hierarchy, ruler over subject, father over son, and crucially, husband over wife. For centuries, women in this society had almost zero legal or social agency. They couldn't own property, they couldn't divorce abusive husbands, and they were often treated as political pawns. If a woman was betrayed, abused, or murdered, she had absolutely no recourse in the world of the living. The system was designed to keep her quiet, but here's where the folklore comes in to balance the scales. The belief evolved that the weaker you were in life, the stronger your curse would be in death. It's the ultimate underdog story, twisted into a nightmare. A samurai who dies in battle, yeah, he might come back as a ghost, sure, but he's usually honorable. He follows the rules, but a woman who was powerless, who died full of repressed rage and sorrow, her spirit breaks the game. This is why the onryo is so terrifying. She wants revenge. She wants emotional retribution. And unlike a male ghost who might be appeased if you just bury his bones correctly, the female ghost's rage is infinite. It is a grudge that will never end. Take the story of Oiwa, arguably the most famous ghost story in Japan, Yotsuya Kaidan. She was a loyal wife whose husband, Iemon, poisoned her so he could marry a younger, richer woman. In life, Oiwa was passionate and dutiful, but when she died, she systematically destroyed Iemon's entire life, driving him insane and causing him to murder his new family. The horror comes from the power inversion. The ghost story serves as a warning to the powerful men of the era. You can oppress them in the sunlight, but in the dark, the rule changes. The ghost is the manifestation of the collective guilt of a patriarchal society. She is the system's return to sender, stamped on centuries of trauma. But loyal audience, that's just the sociological layer. We have to go deeper because this doesn't explain the look. Why the long hair? Why the white dress? And why are they always wet? Let's talk about the hair. That curtain of thick black unkept hair obscuring the face. In Japanese theater, this is called zambaragami. In East Asian culture, long black hair was the ultimate symbol of a woman's beauty, and more importantly, her sanity and social standing. High-born women spend hours maintaining complex, perfectly oiled hairstyles. To have your hair messy, loose, and hanging in your face wasn't just a simple having a bad hair day, unlike nowadays. It was a visual shorthand for madness, for being an outcast, for losing your humanity. When you see Sadako's hair covering her face, your brain is triggering a very specific fear response. It's the fear of the unknown face. Humans are hardwired to look for faces. It's how we gauge threats. When a figure is humanoid but the face is obscure, it triggers the uncanny valley response. We know it should be human, but we can't verify its intent. Is she crying? Is she smiling? Is she about to scream? The hair denies us that data, keeping our amygdala firing at 100% panic levels. And the white dress? In Korea, it's the sobok. In Japan, that's the shiro shozoku, the traditional burial kimono. In Asia, seeing someone in that specific white outfit is an immediate signal that someone is mourning. White is the chosen color of mourning as it represents the paleness of death. Okay, now think about the practicality here. Horror movies and games are dark, like literally dark. If you stick a ghost in a black cloak in the middle of a shadowy room, what are you going to see? Just a floating head. Ooh, spooky! But here's the thing that gets really interesting. This practical need for a high contrast lighting just so happens to align perfectly with cultural tradition. Yin and Yang, what does it have to do about ghosts? Everything. To the Western eye, that black and white swirl is just a symbol for peace, balance, or coup tattoo. But in the ancient operating system of Eastern philosophy, Yin and Yang are the binary code of the universe. They are a system of classification for literally everything in existence. Even food, which you can find out more in this video about heaty and chilling foods and what they can do to your body. Okay, back to topic. According to the book I Ching, Yang, the energy of the sun, it represents heat, light, action, life, and masculinity. Yin, the energy of the moon, it represents cold, darkness, passivity, death, and femininity. Do you see the problem here? In this metaphysical framework, femininity and death are already found in the exact same folder, and most women we know are feminine. Women are chemically linked to the cold, the dark, and the shadow of the earth. Men are linked to the sun and the vitality of life. But it gets even deeper when we look at the specific mechanics of the soul. You see, in Chinese folk religion, you don't just have one soul, you have two. First, you have the Hun. This is your Yang soul, your intellect, your reasoning, the part of you that looks at a problem and solves it logically. But then, you have the Po. This is your Yin soul. This is your primal, animalistic side, your fear, your hunger, and yes, your rage. To put it simple, your emotions. And if a person dies full of grudge, that poor soul becomes a gui, a ghost motivated by their emotions. This also explains why Asian horror is obsessed with water. Think about it, the well in the ring, the bathtub scene in the Grudge. Why are these ghosts always so damp? It's because water is the ultimate yin element. But wait, I hear you typing in the comments. What about the children? They are also creepy ghost kids too. Yes. And that actually proves my point. In these cultures, children like women were often viewed as having less yang energy, less vitality, and were more susceptible to the spirit world. But the mother figure, specifically the twisted mother, is the apex predator here, which brings us to the Southeast Asia connection, where things get frankly a lot blurrier. If we travel down to Indonesia or Malaysia, we'll meet the Pontianak or Kuntilanak in Indonesia. These are vampiric spirits of women who died while pregnant or during childbirth. This taps into a universal human fear, but one that is hyper-specific to the time before modern medicine. Childbirth was the leading cause of death for young women for most of human history. It was terrifying, dangerous threshold. The Pontianak represents the inversion of the life-giving force. A mother is supposed to nurture life, but the Pontianak consumes it. She eats the organs of men and tragically steals babies. So, we have the sociological oppression, the visual psychology of the uncanny, the metaphysical yin energy, and biological trauma of childbirth. It's the perfect cocktail for a nightmare. But there's one final piece to the puzzle. That piece that explains why this trope exploded in the 1990s and the 2000s. That is, the technology. Have you noticed how these female ghosts love technology? Sadako comes out of a VHS tape. In one missed call, they use cell phone. Why? Because technology is cold, it's isolating, and in the modern era, technology has become the new well. In the old days, a woman was thrown into a well to be silenced. Today, we are isolated in our apartments, staring at screens disconnected from human touch. The long-haired ghost girl evolved. She stopped being just a symbol of feudal oppression and became a symbol of urban isolation. Think about the plot of The Ring. You watch a tape and it invades your safe space. The ghost girl is the ultimate intruder. In modern Asian megacities like Tokyo, Seoul, or Hong Kong, millions of people live stacked on top of each other, yet feel completely alone. We stare into black mirrors all day. We dump our emotions into the void of the internet. We ghost people via text. The screen has become the modern liminal space. In biology, the female role is traditionally associated with reproduction. In horror, the monstrous feminine twists this into creating death. Colette Baumann, in her analysis of J-horror, points out that the curse in The Ring is a virus. And how does a virus survive? It replicates. Sadako doesn't kill you with a knife. She kills you unless you copy her. She forces the viewers to become part of her reproductive cycle. The VCR is a mechanical womb for her. Sadako is using technology to birth herself over and over again into the real world. She perverts the traditional society expectation of women to be mothers and turns it into something of a nightmare of infinite viral reproduction. In Asia, the women's sphere was the home. The domestic space was supposed to be safe, private, and controlled. The men's sphere was the outside world, like business, war, and politics. Techno horror is terrifying because it allows the outside to invade the inside, the TV in your living room and the phone in your hand. By manifesting through household appliance, the female ghost is reclaiming the domestic space. She is turning the home, the very place she was historically confined to, into a weapon. As noted by media scholar Valerie Wee, this dissolves the boundary between a safe home and a dangerous world. The Asian female ghost is a consequence. She is the coming due for centuries of silence. So, the next time you're watching a horror movie and you see that familiar white dress and that long black hair, don't just scream, appreciate the layers. You are looking at centuries of history, sociology, and psychology, all wrapped in one terrifying package coming to get you through your screen. Wait, coming through the screen?
Help! Help! Help!
And as always, thanks for watching and peace out.